You're listening to Inside Real Estate, your source for all things mortgage and real estate related. The show that brings you all the hottest topics and insights directly from those who know it most. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show. What's up, everyone? Paul Pasalakis, Salvatore Kuzmano, and Brad Weisgerber. We are Inside Real Estate. Thank you for all those that have been following us. But if you want to find us, if this is your first time listening, please go to Facebook.com/IRE podcast. You can also go to irepodcast.com, or you can listen to our podcast on any podcast app from iTunes to whatever. And if you do listen, please like, subscribe if you did like the show, and hit that notification bell. Man, I'm getting good at that.
Smash that bell.
Smash that bell. How's everybody doing today?
Good, man.
So today we have an old favorite on the show. His name's Craig Joeright. He's with DOBI Real Estate. He is an awesome real estate agent. He's an awesome dude overall. We all know him from a past show. If you guys want to know more about his background, you can go back to an older show. But he was a national figure skater. He's won a lot of awards in his life, and he is a very good dude. So Craig, without further ado, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, guys, for having me. Love it.
Yeah. So today, I really want to pick your brain on because the market's so hot. So I want to talk about these things. I want to talk about, how do you get noticed in a field of 100 offers? It seems like, right? Like, yep. What can people do to kind of set themselves apart? What can hurt their offer? I think you probably have a pretty good idea of what can hurt their offer. And then I also want to talk about how real estate is now at 12% year over year appreciation, and the supply demand issue is not going away. We don't have to belabor the point, but I want to kind of get your ideas on that. But let's start with you, man. How have you been?
I've been excellent. Made a switch back in January.
Yeah.
I was first on the show. I was with Howard Hanna. It was a tough move, and I loved Howard Hanna. Just needed a little bit. There's a lot of energy at DOBI Real Estate, and it's something that's growing substantially. Simon Thomas is phenomenal, great dude, and loving it so far.
Yeah, DOBI's, and I think Sal and Brett, I know the guys over there, and I think they're Simon Thomas is doing a great job. Their team is growing. He's got the right idea. I had a conversation with him the other day, and you guys are doing some cool stuff over there. And I actually wanted you to make that move before, but you didn't listen to me right away.
It took me some time. It took me some time. But it was a lot of thought. But again, they're mixing a lot of old with new.
Yeah.
The technology, with just the old type of meeting and talking to people, relationships, that's what it's always about. Anyway, yeah. But the social media aspect of it and how they have everybody set up for success with help at the office. It's not one person, it's not one manager doing everything. It's social media.
It is a new way of looking at real estate, because I was talking to Simon the other day, and I was like, how many people you got working on your marketing team now? And he was like 9 or 11. It was like the number was astronomical. I'm like, you have that many people on your payroll for marketing, but that's the difference. Like, he's adding value for you guys, right? So I think he's doing a good job, to be fair, and I applaud you for the move. And not that Howard Hanna was any bad. I think that the DOBI's just doing a few different things.
They are for sure. It's just like I said, electricity. Just everybody. There's always something going on. They're either doing like a movie shoot, they're doing videos, and it's just like you walk in, you feel like you're in you're in Vegas or you're in California doing shoots. So it's pretty sweet.
So as a person that as a real estate agent that's doing this on a day in day basis, you're saying basically that that energy in that office and having that is important to you. It actually causes you to be more successful.
It's contagious. You see other people having success, and I'm super competitive, obviously from the skating background, but I see somebody else doing something, and it's kind of that open concept that a lot of offices are doing now. But you hear someone else getting a deal done, and you're like, oh man, I'm slacking. I got to do better. So the energy's there. It's young. It's wanting you to do better. So I'm having a blast.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
How recent is that change?
I moved January 1st of this year.
Oh, nice. It's got the whole year going.
Yeah. So obviously the market's super hot right now, man. Like it's crazy. I mean, the supply demand issue isn't going away. I think there's a month or a month and a half of inventory just on average across the country right now, which is, crazy low. And I don't think it's from a lack of demand or lack. I think there's product on the market. There probably isn't enough, but I think that's because demand is so high. But nonetheless, it's hard to get your offer accepted in today's market because it is so competitive. And there might be on a good house. Greg, how many offers do you see on a house that like is well appointed?
Anywhere between I'm seeing anywhere between 15 to 20 offers on one house. The price range, from 150 upwards to 500,000. I'm still seeing 15 to 20 offers. As it goes up a little bit higher, the numbers going up. You're not seeing as many, but it's crazy. Just recently had a client. I was in Hawaii for vacation. Called me up, wrote an offer, 40,000 over. The house was listed at 380. I'm on my plane going back. He's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I also sent to the listing agent an email stating that I would sell my car or give them my car on top of my 40,000 K."
Wait. We had a car, an actual automobile thrown into an offer to win an offer. Think about how crazy that is.
Yes. Yeah. It was his pride and joy. And,
what kind of car was
probably
it?
Like a $10,000-$15,000 car that he was trying to add to the pot just to secure a little bit more of like, hey, I'm more serious. And
what kind of car
down
was
payment? It was a Pontiac Solstice convertible red that was like turbocharged. So it was his baby, but didn't have many miles on it. It was nice. But like
Sal, would you do that? Would you pony up one of your cars for an offer on a house?
No
shot.
What are you driving?
Too much, man.
He's got Sal has got multiple cars. He's got like a little dealership in his front yard.
I don't think I would. I mean, I don't know. I think people are just the desperation is kind of crazy right now. I mean, these appraisal waivers, and I mean that's what's really winning these deals. I see is just strong appraisal waivers. Even over a lot of cash deals, because what's waiting another 20 days for an extra 20-30 grand, right?
Yeah.
So
can we explain to the audience what an appraisal waiver is, Craig? I mean, from your perspective, how that works?
So just to step back really quick, I did have an appraiser that I met with yesterday, and he's like, my job is, it's kind of stupid right now. He's like, with all these appraisal waivers, why am I even coming in? Because you're willing to pay the difference. The rates are so low. But the appraisal bridge just pretty much is from what your offer price is. If you're going over $30,000 or $40,000, you're making sure that no matter where that appraisal actually comes in from the bank, you're willing to pay the difference. Say the price was $400, you went to $430. You're
Correct.
saying that you're, waiving that, and you're going to pay the extra $30,000 no matter where the appraisal comes in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So, but that's what it takes to get a deal done in today's market, because you can offer all you want. If it doesn't appraise, the bank can't lend more than that, right?
Correct.
So you've got to be able to guarantee that money to the seller, because if it doesn't work, they don't want to have to relist it and all that, obviously. So,
when you have 20 offers, right, and the house is listed at, 350 grand, what other way can you stand out besides offer more money and guarantee it? I mean,
escalation clause, potentially. I think that kind of works.
Right, but still up to X, right, with proof of another offer. I mean, it's just like you said. I mean, 15 to 20 offers on average on a home is just kind of nuts right now. And
I think the escalation clause is huge. I'm starting to use that a little bit more, just in case that the offers, the numbers aren't so high. We're not going crazy and offering 40,000 over, and the highest other before that was only 20.
Right.
So I'm going anywhere between 10 to 15% over, and then an escalation clause of another 15,000 or whatnot, depending on the price.
What happens when there's dual escalation clauses? You know what I mean? Like, what happens if there's like two people and they're both willing to go 50K over with a 5K escalation clause for whatever it is?
Obviously, then you got to just look at the other terms. What are they putting down? What type of mortgage? And then on top of it, who they're using as a lender. That goes a long way. Especially, I've seen that a lot in Michigan when I see out-of-state lenders come in. As a realtor, I kind of put those not necessarily to the side, but I'm going to look at the more, the ones that are local, that are, they have more, what's flair, not flair, what's another word I'm looking for? Like they have more pizzazz, presence in this market. They know the market better.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know, outside of, you know, the Quicken Loans and stuff like that, you're dealing with 30 people at one time. I want communication. The lender or the listing agent will most likely reach out unless they do have 30 or 40 offers. I think they've gone past that and not been able to contact 40 lenders. But that communication is always key to hear back from that lender or that lender reaching out. Yeah,
you know, I'm glad you brought that up. Obviously, we're a lender, right? And we're a local lender, so that bodes well for us. But we have heard in the past that, oh, this person's working with Quicken and this person, and if they're equal, they're going to take the one with the local lender that has a good reputation, that's known for communication and getting this stuff done. Because unfortunately for Quicken, a purchase transaction is much more complicated than a refinance transaction, and you know they're built to do refinances. But when you have multiple people that you know are all doing separate things on the same file on a purchase transaction that already has a lot of fragmentation, like you're trying to reduce friction, but you're just adding more by using the similar. So that's interesting.
Yeah, just it makes it a little bit more complicated. You're trying to complicate things for the people that you're already dealing with. I mean, I've written one client, I think I've written 12 offers for them, you know, and well over asking, still not getting it. You know, you're trying to rack your brain. A letter no longer is like a deal breaker because we used to do letters for people. I think the call from the lender, especially now, because the agent is so overwhelmed, the listing agent, a call from the lender to that listing agent is key. I think that stands out a little bit. I've had a lot of compliments of like some of my lenders calling the agents and whatnot and saying, hey, you're in good standing. What else do you need to know?
Any little inch, right? Yep. Any little inch that you can get right now really does matter. Like, yes, have your lender call and tell the listing agent that they're really well qualified. Yes, use a lender that has a really good reputation in the area.
Yes, find a lender that will call, because a lot of loan officers won't make that call to the listing agent. They're scared of them.
They are scared,
which is crazy. How are you scared of them? Why are you scared of
a lot of people are scared to pick up the phone.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
Like no matter what profession or whatever it is, you know, people don't like to get on the phone for some reason. They'd rather send an email or a text or whatever. And I feel like
it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
You try calling and they text you a second ago, then you try calling and they don't answer.
Yeah, but they'll text you back.
Yeah, they'll text you back.
I want to put a PSA out there for agents too. Like,
100%.
If people are going to blow me up on getting a deal done, and all I need is an addendum or something, and I call an agent and they don't call me back, what the fuck, man? Like, I feel like it's like it's like, dude, like everyone's, you know, rush, and then you get to the end and it always seems like, oh, someone forgot to order a payoff or this or that, you know, on the
somebody's always going on vacation. It's a rush.
It just goes to show there's so many people involved, right? You got two title companies, you've got, you know, lender, insurance company, inspector, appraiser, two agents, multiple sellers, usually multiple buyers, and there's just a lot that needs to get done in 30 days.
It's a lot. It really is, and it's so fragmented. It's not like our business is like this, like well put together oiled machine. You know what I mean? It really doesn't work that way. So, what are some things that, like, if you're a listing agent, what are some things that like you look at, Craig, that like is like, no, that offer is just dead in the water immediately?
Again, it goes back to the terms that I'm looking at. The EMD. You know, when you have a $500,000 house and you're putting $1,000 down,
right.
You know, no, thank you. You know, like there's no skin in the game for you. And then obviously, you know, what are they putting down? Are they putting 5, 10, 15, 20, you know, conventional VA? What are they? So that makes a difference. And then also just communication, again, going back to that whole thing is, how is the other agent? Did they call to make sure that you got the offer? Did they just send it? Can you feel that there's some kind of connection there that you can get this done? Because you could call anybody, you know, and it's a very quick, easy conversation, or it could be a very difficult conversation. You know, that's how it's going to be the rest of that transaction. I don't really want to work with you at that point in time. So
would you agree that in like today's market, and I've said this before, but it is so important, like some people think you don't want to hire Aunt Tilly in a market like this, right? Like you need to have professionals around you. Do your research and interview some real estate agents. Like get the right agent, get the right mortgage company, figure out if you want to use a title company or your own title company. There's a lot of things that you can do as a consumer to make sure that you actually put yourself in a position to win, and working with a shitty agent isn't like part of that equation.
No, I mean, that's your main part, right? That's your waiter or waitress out on the front lines. And then you got your cooks in the back doing all the stuff that aren't seen. But and there's just as important, if not the most important, but you throw that waiter or waitress out there. There's what you see. Yeah. That's what you get. They're the ones that are presenting the food. Those are the ones that are taking your orders and dealing with everybody else behind you. So I think that's a really good way or analogy to put real estate and a real estate agent is we're the ones that are in the front lines. We're the ones that are getting yelled at or whatnot. And obviously you guys are as well, but it's mostly the agents calling you and screaming at you to get stuff done quicker. Yeah,
that you have a very good point on that. Absolutely. that happens a lot. So in this market right now, like, talk to me about your business, man. Like, what are you doing to stand out to make sure that your people know that you are capable, that because again, how do you keep a client from getting fatigued after 12 or 15 offers getting rejected?
Extremely difficult. Right. Extremely difficult. It's getting them into the houses the day that it goes live or whatnot. Get them in there. These coming soons are killing us in a way, even though I practice.
Can you talk about that? Can you explain that? Yeah. What is a coming soon and why are they allowing it?
I just saw 3 coming soons on.
Why does it matter? Why does it matter?
It's
they always underprice it at coming soon too. It's like coming soon. $200,000 for the 4,000 square foot house, whatever it is. But walk me through like what's going on with that.
It's just came out like what is it? Been a year now? Because before they had like the Zillow thing, which was make me move, and then they had something else, and that didn't work. And now they got this coming soon. I'm not a big fan. Have I used it? Yes. It builds up demand. It builds up that I need this house. I got to get it. And then all these people come rushing in, and they see 30 people at an open house, and then they think they have to get an offer in. And this kind of segues into my next thing is that buyers are now having buyer's remorse after they put that in there, because they think right away, I gotta get something in. I gotta get something in that first 24 hours.
It's not healthy. It's not healthy.
It's not. No one can think. No one has any, it's all emotion. And then they sit back for 12 hours waiting for them to reply. And then they get it accepted and they're like, oh my God, I just went $50,000 over on a house that I kind of like, but there's nothing else. So I guess I'm in
kind of like.
Yeah.
That's true, man.
And then they're like, okay, I guess I can get out on the inspection, or you know what, I'm going to ask for $20,000 in inspection stuff because the light switch was turned the opposite direction, or the electrical panel has double taps or something. So I went $8,000 off to kind of bring it back down to reality.
Happens all the time, right? Like all of a sudden, like there's
the seller's board. The seller's telling you to kick rocks because they got 30 other offers.
Right. Yeah. Hey, I'll just go to my next one that's waiving the inspection, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of. But to waive an inspection.
Think about that. Think about that. Like I will waive an inspection. I'm not going to inspect a $400,000 purchase or $200,000 purchase or $100,000. Yeah. I'm choosing not to get it inspected because I want to win the house. Now, if that has a foundation issue, the roof is bad, there's animals living in the attic, like you can't do fuck all. That's it. You're done.
Yeah, you're done. You're done. It's scary. I mean, I've had a couple of them, and again,
or you can lose your EMD.
Yeah. I've had people doing on the EMD non-trend. I mean, just it's theirs. As soon as the inspection's over, non-refundable. You keep it. Just keep the deal. Yep. $12,000. If we don't make it through, it's yours.
What's the craziest other than the car? Which is
that's my craziest. I don't
know. As I said the question, I
saw one come across yesterday that they went 25 above. I think the house was like 380. They went 25 above, agreed to pay the buyer's agent commission, transfer taxes, and owner's title, which is another $20,000. I mean, those are like sunk costs that they're going to pay. Plus, they could have a shortage in the appraisal. So, and whatever they're putting down, it's like, how bad do you want this house? I mean, people are welding themselves potentially into these homes. If we have a market correction or dip, I mean, people are welded in. You want to sell a house, it costs 7-8%. You're done.
Yes. Yes.
Especially if
you're already upside down day one, right?
Yep.
You might be setting the market, whatever, but if there is a correction, but dude, I don't know this, like this supply demand issue isn't going away. I don't know if there's going to be a correction or a big correction.
Yeah. I mean, the dollar isn't worth what it was this time last year.
No. Look at lumber. Look at goods. I mean, this inflation thing is really an issue.
Yeah. They say on average, like $25,000 of increased costs to build a home just in lumber.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. So like, that's so prohibitive to fixing the supply demand issue.
It's up like 360 grand percent in the past year.
Yeah. It's so expensive to buy a new build now compared to what it was 2 years ago, right? It has gotten exponentially more expensive to buy a new build, and there's not enough like.
Oh, the builders aren't going to lose money. They're just
builders are just going to they're going to pass the cost on.
They're not.
I don't know if this is.
They're not charity, right?
Did they? So I heard that there was enough lumber. There's not a shortage. It's just because of inflation and everything going up, they're making the charge more.
I've heard the same thing. True. I've heard the same thing. I've heard that there's absolutely no shortage, but because they feel like they can there's so much demand for the lumber that they can charge more. They don't give a fuck. They're also, the lumber companies are also for profit, right? Everybody is for profit. So if they see an opportunity because like they can charge more for the same product and they have maybe it does cost them a little bit more, but they're probably passing on like a 20% premium or whatever it is, right? Why wouldn't they do that? Everybody's kind of fleecing everybody in today's market. Everybody's trying to get theirs, right?
Yeah. But I think it also goes like, I think new construction, I'm telling some of my buyers, that's probably your only way to get a house right now. So if you're putting in, you're getting 20 offers on one home, might as well go build one.
Yeah.
You're going to be paying about the same amount.
And especially if you're settling.
Go get a new home.
Like if you get to design the home, what type of remorse are you going to have?
Right. Yep.
There's a very good point to that. There is.
The problem with that is where are they going to build? Right. There's not a ton of places. If you want to be in downtown Royal Oak, you're not gonna be able to build a house.
Well, you gotta find
you're just gonna pay a shit ton more for a teardown.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay what a first time buyer would consider like probably the top of their budget for a teardown.
$200,000 for the lot.
Yeah.
Around 25,000.
But is this, to your point, Paul? Is this like the new normal? Or is it just like a little balloon? I mean, essentially, money, everything, right? Used cars, like everything that you buy is just more expensive now. I mean, think about how much more money people spent on food during the pandemic with DoorDash. Nothing to order. I think I got PF Chang's last night. Shit was like $70.
Yes. Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Yes. When you can just drive there and get it for 50.
Yeah.
Kids meals. McDonald's.
I got Taco Bell the other day. DoorDash. It was like $60. Like it was like double the cost.
Hold on a second. That's a lot of food, no matter where. That's
it doesn't matter. I got a big family.
Can we talk about how much food that is actually from Taco Bell?
I got a big family, but still, it's like double, right, or more than double. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, they're talking. Okay, the CPI or CPL number. I forget what the actual acronym is, but that is showing that there's very little inflation. I disagree. I think however they're measuring inflation, it's not on like the things that matter, because like housing is more expensive, gas is more expensive, milk is more expensive, like everything is more expensive, and that it literally has happened over the last 2 years. It just happened.
But the difference is people aren't like not paying it, right? People are like, it's hard to buy a fucking house that's $100,000 more than what it was 2 years ago, and people will pay for the gas. There's cars are flying off the shelf at
It's because our government's printing money, dude. Our government is printing money and they're just fueling the fire. I mean, they're passing another 1.8, another 1.8 trillion for kids. I like that. It's not that I don't like that, but how many trillions have we printed? It's like we've printed trillions of dollars. What's that?
It's all going to come back in taxes.
You can't tax enough to get it back, dude. I don't really like you. How much like we've like between all the stimulus packages, we're over $10 trillion.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think that. I don't think we'll ever pay it back, but we'll feel it in our taxes. To Craig's point, right? Like, there's going to be a lot of changes, I think, in the next few years as far as like taxes on things that people are going to be like, "Wow, this sucks." But
can I tell you what does scare me? What does scare me is, sorry to cut you off, Sal. What does scare me is like if we have inflation, then foreign entities that put money in our bond market, all of a sudden their money, if they're getting 2% yields, but they're losing money because of inflation, people are going to stop investing in our bonds. That's pretty scary. That part about inflation is kind of freaky, because if other countries don't believe in the US dollar as being the place of safe haven and they start putting their money in other places, then you start seeing real issues economically. So be on the lookout for that. Not to be a doomsday guy, but like inflation is not good for us. It's actually really bad with yields as low as they are, because our bond market is not yielding much, but it's a safe place to put your money until you start losing ground because of inflation. So that'll be really
gold or Bitcoin.
Dude, do you believe in Bitcoin?
No,
you don't.
No, I do not.
All right.
I should have invested a while ago.
What is? Did you say? Do you believe in Bitcoin?
Yeah, like it's a religion. I'm saying, because the reason I say it like that is because some people just do not believe that Bitcoin means anything or does anything, and then some people are like believers and they're like, this is the new way that people are going to transact. So that's why I said, do you believe it?
I think it started out like that, but at this point, it's just a vehicle for someone to trade. Like people are just buying and selling it to make money. Like, do you intend to hold Bitcoin to buy a house with it one day, or do you intend to buy Bitcoin, make money on it, sell it for US dollars, and then use those US dollars to purchase goods? Right?
Unless the US dollar ends up being worth less, right?
But it doesn't make any sense.
It's all relative.
Bitcoin. It doesn't make any sense for Bitcoin to be the new currency, because there's a limited amount of Bitcoin. So like there's no way to produce more. There's no way to get more. So whoever has the Bitcoin has all the money and nobody else can get it.
Well, not everybody.
It's not going to be a currency.
It's not going to be a currency. It's a store of value. I look at it as a store of value.
It's an investment. It's a trading vehicle. That's all it is.
Right.
But to your point of if the US dollar becomes worth less, well, one Bitcoin's fucking 50 grand already, right? I mean, like, yeah, the US dollar is worth less already, but
it protects against inflation because it's not tied to one government entity. That's what it is. So like people in Argentina, they buy a shit ton of Bitcoin because it's actually worth something that's stable.
Right. But
Bitcoin's worth something everywhere.
Exactly. But Argentinian currency is worth less because of their inflation problems.
Right. But do people in Argentina go to, the gas station and pay with Bitcoin, or do they maybe sell some of their Bitcoins for their Argentine dollars to buy?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you that.
I mean, people only use it and trade it to make money. People are running around, sick as shit that Bitcoin dropped 10 grand, not because Bitcoin dropped money and they want to hold it forever.
Well,
it's because they just lost a ton of US dollars.
Isn't that like gold and silver? Isn't that like gold and silver? You're not going to go like break off a piece of your gold and give it to someone. You're going to sell the gold for whatever you got, but it's a store of value, right? That's kind of what I'm saying. It's kind of like you just give someone.
Those are around before the US dollar. I don't know. Right. I mean, we could debate about it for a long time.
I mean, you're kind of defeating your own argument of being a believer, because all your arguments come back to you're storing the value to then trade it to US dollars. I think Bitcoin's not going to be the new currency.
I don't think it's a new currency. No, I don't. Anyways, Craig, how about you? What do you?
I probably should have invested back then, but I didn't. Thinking back on it, but it confuses me. It's a confusing game.
It really is.
But I mean, how many people hold money, cash in their wallets anymore? Everything is Venmo, PayPal, all that stuff anyway. So could it be something like Bitcoin?
Speaking of investments, are you seeing a lot of investment money going into real? Like, are a lot of people buying investment properties, or do you see investors kind of cashing out?
So I just talked to an attorney the other day. He was talking about what the new rates are going to be in regards to investments, investment homes, second homes, and then obviously your flippers and stuff like that. And
it's prohibitive. Yeah, they've gone up. Yeah,
it's going to keep going up. I have a feeling, and I think we're going to see that's going to be tough for a lot of investors. I personally invested last year in a second home, which I never thought possible, but I'm glad I did it last year. And storing money into real estate. I don't know where you could go wrong in real estate, but at the same time, with the rates going where they're going with that, I would feel that some people are going to start to, the new ones that think that they got in it at the right time are going to get bit.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
If you're getting into it now, it's definitely not the right time.
Just so everybody understands what happened. Can you explain what happened with that, the pricing?
I don't honestly know. I know that there's some adjustments coming to, second homes and investment properties that are going to boost the rates. But additionally, what's coming in June, which I think as an agent, you need to be aware of this on some of your first time buyers and whatnot, any buyer in particular. But come June, Fannie and Freddie are changing DU and LP, which is their automated underwriting system, to basically above a 43% DTI, which you'd be surprised how many loans max the shit out of the DTI. Mm-hmm. You need strong compensating factors. So for example, 3% down at a 44 DTI with good credit would run right now, but probably not going to unless they're putting more money down. Right.
Or have a bunch of extra money in the bank.
Yeah.
Super high credit score.
And, unfortunately for us, that the pain in the ass about automated underwriting is it doesn't tell you what it needs. You have to guess. You have to keep playing with it. Okay, yeah, we can make it work at 5% down, 10% down. It should just tell you, hey, if you put 10% down, we can do this. But it doesn't.
It's not black and white at all.
Yeah, so it's going to get a little crazy. And a lot of people who are pre-approved right now, because I've had this in the past too, where they change their algorithm and all of a sudden, hey, 3% down, no go for you. You got to do 5.
So correct.
And they got a contract.
Yeah.
They got under contract, and shit, they don't got 5% down. What are you going to do? You're scrambling, trying to figure it out. So I think as a loan officer or and I think that all takes effect June 1st for new DU case files. So I don't know.
Fannie, Freddie, FHA, they're all getting tighter on their restrictions.
I think that's telling of something.
Yes.
They're probably worried, right, that we're at the top of the mountain here. And they want people to have equity in their homes.
It's going to be weird because
the market, they really are, which is smart.
Well, it's going to choke the market off a bit because home prices are going up so much, and people are guaranteeing over, right? And why are people able to borrow so much more money? Because rates are so low and DTI restrictions are kind of lax, so they can qualify that high. We're going to choke that down. They're not going to be able to buy as much home, so there's going to be less buyers for those bigger homes, right?
Which would be
less money available.
It's probably stabilize the market a little bit.
It might a little bit, yeah.
So I think there's a lot of.
I disagree with that.
Well, Paul, how many loans do we do that the DTI is 45, 46, 47?
I guess my whole point is I remember when we got rid of stated income and we were we're just going to choke.
I'm not saying it's going to be a massive earthquake shakedown, but
I'm just saying what'll happen is the people will adjust and then they will not know they can't have our credit score restrictions have gone up. Now the average credit score in the country has gone up just because you have to have better credit in today's world compared to 5 years ago. So I just feel like the market will adapt because there's so much money in real estate and it's such a stable place to be, to have your money. It performs well. It does. And you get to live in the house and there's so many benefits to home ownership that I don't know. We'll see what happens. I just don't think the supply demand issue goes away. I don't know what stops that from happening because we have millennials having babies. We've got people living in apartments that don't want to live in them. I think people have been changed because of the pandemic. They want land. They want different things. So there's a huge appetite for homes in today's world. And I don't think that's going away. Do you think what do you think about that, Craig?
I mean, with my work, I'm seeing a lot more people getting land or by the water, something that if anything happens like this again, they can sustain their life and be somewhat normal, either be on the water or have somewhere to go, walk, do stuff. So I'm seeing a lot more people, at least in my clients, kind of moving to, yeah, Royal Oak is still popular, Birmingham is still popular, whatnot, but I'm starting to see people coming out to that Lake Orion, Oxford. I want an acre, I want 2, give me 10 so I can have some animals, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's changed perception. And also people can work from home now. And I don't think that's changing. I think people are finding efficiencies by working from home. There are certain jobs that can work from home now, right? And I don't see that changing.
You can think about this too. Someone brought this up the other day about school. Like, are they going to have snow days? Or because now they can do Zoom with everything. Are they going to have that? And then you go back to, okay, mom and dad are at home, and you're doing Zoom classes during their, those are things that you used to look forward to. I know it's kind of a change.
Oh God, if that happens, there's going to be a revolt. All the elementary school and middle school children should all get together and form a union and revolt against that.
My kids have been doing Zoom schooling, and they had a snow day this winter. So
did they have it? Okay.
Yeah, they did. We were wondering, were you guys going to get a snow day this year? No, I think they had 2 actually.
You had a snow day through Zoom? Why? Because people not making it work?
Well, the teachers still were going into school because they had like half in school in our district. And some kids were in school, some kids were online. So when they had a
by August, though, we'll probably be all back to school, right?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
Likely.
Yeah, all summer to figure it out.
If you would have told me that
look what happened. I mean, look what happened in India, dude. They thought that they had it under control, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're like burning bodies because people are dying so much. Like, oh my God,
it's really
it's wild. They thought they were past it, right?
But what is their density? Yeah. Their density there is crazy.
Oh yeah, it's massive.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. If you go per population, the United States is still faring the worst right now.
Yeah.
Per population. But I'm blown away at this. Like, I got it. I didn't think I'd ever get it because we were pretty careful, but our office, some people got it. Yeah. And I got fully vaccinated, but it was weird getting it because it was such a foreign thing for so long that when I was told that I was diagnosed with it, I was like, that's kind of weird, man, that I have it. Did you ever get it, Greg, or no?
I had it back in October.
Okay.
And I think that the scariest, I lost taste and smell. But I think that the scariest thing for me is just passing it along to somebody else, especially my family, my kids.
Yeah.
I was worried about that. And then the neighborhood, I was out. We were in the backyard, whatnot, with neighbors and doing our thing. It was summer, October, so it was getting colder. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think when I had it, I was like scared for the kids. I knew I'd be fine, but it was more for my family and them getting it and stuff like that. And if someone got really sick from me, I'd feel extremely bad.
It's so crazy how this whole pandemic thing, how it's still going on. It's not even just still going on; it's raging.
Yeah.
It's really raging, especially around here. Michigan was a hot spot. It still is. And, I know more people today that had it than when at the beginning, it was like, you hear about somebody having it, right? You'd be like, oh, so-and-so got it. So now it's like, no, dude, 4 people in our office got it.
No, I think it's more common. And I think it's just going to be that way. It's going to be something that we're living with, just like the flu.
Yeah.
Get the shot. I've been vaccinated. My wife's been vaccinated.
Yeah.
Feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
So can't only control what you can control. So.
Right. So what's in your future, dude? What do you what do you want to do in the next year?
Well, I did add a buyer's agent / partner. His name is Mike Bush. He's he's in Birmingham. You met him, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great guy.
Great guy. Was in the restaurant. It is still in the restaurant business, and he's killing it, man. I mean, his personality, the catering, the fact of being at a restaurant, you're always having to cater to people. So he's doing a great job. So I want to grow a little bit more that way, so that I can maybe step back a little bit more and enjoy my kids and their future. Getting them. My son's playing t-ball. The girls are dance. He's swim. They're just at that age now where everything's starting to click and, wanting to get into other sports. So I want to be there for that. And I at the pace that I was going or doing what I was doing. 45, 50 transactions doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of people, but when you're on your own,
it's a lot.
It's a ton, and you're working 8 in the morning until 10, 11 o'clock at night. As we were talking before, that so many people that are involved in the transaction. Most of the general public have no idea what we do. I was
not behind closed doors. They think, oh yeah, that's a great point. It looks like everything's working fine, and that people, just the consumer, thinks that a mortgage and real estate transaction is pretty black and white. It's not. It's so gray. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say on Monday I was like celebrating. I had a drink in my hand. I had written a ton of contracts, got them all accepted, ecstatic. Tuesday, 3 of them were falling apart. I felt like life was ending. Like, what is going on? It was crazy. So
that's hilarious.
This industry it's a roller coaster. It's ups and downs. Oh my gosh,
you can't be faint of heart. That's for sure.
No. All right. So 3 questions. You guys got anything? I'll start. If you could only wear one article of clothing the rest of your life, what would it be? Just one article.
Oh man, I'd say just shorts. I like wearing shorts.
What kind of shorts? Mesh shorts? What kind of shorts we talking?
Your athletic shorts, just normal shorts. Not like I'm going golfing shorts. I'm talking like sweatpants shorts or whatever you want to call them. Athletic, you're going to the gym.
Athletic, I don't know if that's
70s athletic shorts that are like super high, got like a triangle cut up.
How low above? I mean, how high above the knee do you go?
Dude, it's going further and further for basketball players. Anyway, I'd be just above the knee.
Just above the knee. Perfect.
Yep.
I've seen you in shorter though.
You have? I don't wear shorts that often, and I'm outside when I'm out there at home and everything else. Comfort-wise, shorts.
All right. Next, any other questions, guys? You guys think of anything?
I got a question. It's not really like a random one, but it is. I'm curious. Would you rather figure skate and hockey skates, or play hockey and figure skates?
Ooh, that's interesting.
Because of your skating background, I'm curious what you would think about this.
Would I rather figure skate and hockey skates? I would probably play hockey and figure skates.
Why?
Without having the toe pick and the longer blade with figure skating, I mean, you're doing with the jumps and you're expecting that to stop you, that toe pick, or putting your toe in the ice to help you catapult you into the air. If you don't have that, I mean, you're doing face plants all the time. All the time.
That toe pick is important.
Yeah. And then in hockey, you can kind of get away with it a little bit more.
You'd have to be like a forward. You'd be like very graceful.
Yeah. Right. We're doing a little bit longer pushes.
Well, I mean, Craig, you do play hockey, right? To be fair, we were just talking prior to the show. You do play hockey right now.
Correct.
You got hit in the
nuts.
That's
what I was curious. I was like, from the beginning of the show, I had been thinking about something like that.
Yeah, no, I've been playing hockey now for about maybe 8 years.
Yes.
Obviously can skate, still terrible at puck handling and shooting, but I just play defense and pass somebody else.
So prior to the show, Craig told me that he took a slap shot to the nuts.
Yeah, it was really bad. Really bad. I was out for like 15 minutes.
I asked him, he's still not feeling right.
Yeah. He wound up.
You wound up for that, yeah. Let's do this. If you could go back in time and not be a figure skater, but you had to pick another sport, what would it be?
So my goal as a figure skater was to play in the NFL. I was going to make it as a figure skater and make a ton of money, and then do what Michael Jordan did, and from the NBA go to the Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
So my goal was make a ton of money in figure skating and then buy my way to be a wide receiver in the NFL. I would definitely go with football.
Football, no kidding, huh?
Yeah.
No kidding. So were you always athletic? Just natural.
I played every sport. So I played soccer, ran track, played basketball.
That's wild.
I was not able to play football. My parents did not want me to play because you get hurt and concussions.
It's pretty
and they said the only position you could play as a football player would be kicker because you're not supposed to get tackled.
Yeah.
So that was my only position I could play.
Was that 3 questions? Did we just finish them?
Yeah, we did.
Craig, can you tell the audience how they can find you, man? You are literally one of the best agents that we don't work with.
soon. We'll get there soon. You had to throw that in there. But yeah, we'll do it soon. But yeah, I mean, Craig Joeright at wearedobi.com. CraigJoeright at wearedobi, ARE, just in case, dobi.com.
I love it, man. Thank you so much for doing the show, dude.
I appreciate it, guys, very much, and we'll get a couple more under our belt for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's start with one.
we've had one or two.
I'm fucking with you. I'm totally fucking with it. All right, bro. Thank you so much for doing the show. I love you as always, man.
All right, have a good one, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Be good.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
I like that guy, dude. He knows his stuff. Right?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. How you guys been? You been good, Sal?
Yeah, busy, man.
Yeah, it is busy right now. You've been really busy. Sal's been like on fire lately. He's just, and it's a lot of purchase business, right, Sal?
Yeah. It's like,
It's a lot of purchases.
something happened, but I like it.
Yeah. Well, all right, everyone that's stayed through to this part of the show, we really appreciate you listening. Obviously, again, if you want to watch the video, if you're listening to the podcast, you can see the video on Facebook /IRE podcast. You can also find us on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thank you, Allie Berry. Hello, how are you, sir? That is a wrap, everyone. We will see you next week. Be good. What's up?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
You've been listening to Inside Real Estate, the nation's top real estate podcast. Don't forget to follow us at irepodcast.com and everywhere where podcasts are available.